Hi everyone, this is Susan again. This is the second letter of the last letter I'm going to be reading. In this section, Amelia's doctor that we just met in the last video has left, moved back to New York after 9/11 to be with his family. And Amelia, Leah, has been experiencing a lot of other symptoms. The date of this letter is February 18th, 2002. Dear whoever you are, I don't belong to their stories anymore. At lunch, my friends talk about their play rehearsals or the cute guy they saw at the music store or what happened at Carly's house last Saturday night. And I open my eyes and lift my head from where it was resting on the table because I want to know what happened too. But I can't because I wasn't there and I've grown tired of asking. Their world is going on without me and I can't do anything but sit back and watch, and honestly, I don't know if I want to be a part of it anyway. Sometimes I wish they would ask me what's wrong with me. Sometimes I want to tell them I don't know, that I've been to half a dozen specialists in the past 3 months and they don't know. And this not knowing is terrifying, but thanks for asking because it means something that you care. I've started eating lunch with Mrs. Judy Airy and Mrs. Hadley. I'll hang out for a little while with my friends so we can all pretend everything's normal, but then they'll start talking about preparing for the SATs and choosing their senior projects and whether or not their boyfriends want to go to the junior prom. And all I can think about is which doctor I'll be seeing next. I just want to be able to tell someone I'm scared, but I can't because we're in the high school cafeteria and no one wants to talk about that kind of stuff here. So I'll spend the last 10 minutes of my lunch period with Mrs. G and Mrs. Hadley while they talk about teaching or writing or history, and they're so passionate about what they're saying it makes me think that someday I can find something like that, if only I can think about something other than this. Sometimes I'll chime in on their conversations, and for those 10 minutes I matter. My thoughts and ideas mean something. They don't look at me funny when my mind goes blank mid-sentence and I forget what point I wanted to make, or when I have to ask Mrs. Hadley to repeat herself 3 times because the words coming out of her mouth seem like a foreign language. They simply ask me if I'm okay, and I can't believe how much that matters, to simply be asked if you're okay. I wish I could shake myself out of it, like this whole thing is just a mess of mind over matter. But no matter how hard I try to convince myself I'm fine, I know I'm not. My body feels like it belongs to someone my grandma's age, when I'm not even old enough to vote yet. My head hurts all the time, I can never find my balance, and I can't seem to get warm even though I'm wearing 2 shirts and a sweater and I'm sweating all the time. All I want to do is sleep, and in some twist of irony, that's all I can do these days. Like my insomnia is a thing of the past now and I have to live through the other extreme. I'm barely getting by with a C average in all of my classes because every time I look at my notebook, the words seem alien, even though I wrote them. I have to reread each sentence 5 times before my brain clicks on, and even then I have to struggle to make sense of what it was I was trying to say. These letters, writing to you, whoever you are, they've become my only salvation, and I'm scared to think even this won't last. Anhedonic. That's a good word, isn't it? I learned it from Dr. Denlinger today. Anadonia. It sounds like a melody or an Italian phrase that belongs in an ancient opera. It means you can't feel happy about the things you used to enjoy, empty, unmotivated, uncaring. In other words, Dr. Denlinger said, you're depressed. No shit. But it was the way he said it, like that was a solution to all my problems rather than a symptom of something greater. I can tell you why I'm depressed. It's because life is going on out there while I'm still stuck in here in a doctor's office. Every normal teenager is planning for the future and going on dates and to dances, and I'm afraid to leave the house because what if I pass out in school again? Or when I'm shopping, or hell, even in my own driveway on the way to the car. My friends are setting goals and thinking about what they want to do when they graduate from college, and I just want to make it through high school and see 18. He didn't want to hear that. He didn't want to hear anything I had to say, because I'm too young to know better, right? I'm too young to know what's going on in my own body, too young to have my own thoughts about what might be wrong. I can't possibly believe there's something more seriously going on here. I'm just making it all up. I stared at Dr. Denlinger from my place on the exam table. He stared at my chart in his hands. Repeat that, please? My dad stepped closer to him, and my mom lay her hand on his arm, her head tilted like maybe she'd heard wrong too. I didn't. I heard him loud and clear. Dr. Denlinger sighed, set the chart down on the counter behind him, and crossed his arms. We see this all the time, he said. Kids are naturally suggestive. They'll believe what they want to believe. Sometimes it's to get out of school or for the attention or... My dad pointed to the door. That's it, no words, just the pointing. His face was getting redder by the second, his fist clenched like he was holding himself back for the sake of everyone in the room. I started to cry as soon as the door clicked shut behind him, the tears spilling down my cheeks fast and furious. My mom stroked my hair and shushed me like I was 2 years old, but I didn't mind, didn't try to pull away. I felt like I was 2 again, tired and afraid and needing my dad to defend me. She pressed her cheek against the top of my head, and I leaned against her, whispering in my ear that the doctor doesn't know me, and they know I'm not like that, and he doesn't, and I'm not. But maybe I am. Maybe he's right because he's the doctor and he sees this all the time. Maybe I'm making it all up for some subconsciously twisted reason I can't even begin to figure out. Maybe I really am imagining everything, because it feels like my legs are on fire, but they look perfectly normal without so much as a rash. And the tingling in my hands and feet is probably just them falling asleep, because I always sit with my legs tucked underneath me. And the classical music I hear coming from the far corner of my room at night must be because someone left the TV on, or one of my neighbors is blasting some symphony so loud I can hear it from across the yard, because that's crazy. No one really hears music that doesn't exist like that. That's just another figment of my imagination, an opus I'm remembering from some music class long ago that's looping back through my memory. I wish my doctor was here. I wish that was his office I was sitting in, even if it had to be in that uncomfortable wooden chair, passing colored pencils back and forth as he listened to me. Really listened. He'd lean back in his chair and place his elbows on the armrests, and his eyes would grow darker with some kind of knowledge that I don't think came only from his books. And he'd ask me questions and actually wait for me to answer. I need someone like him here to tell me it will get better. I'm starting to wonder if it ever will. I wish I could go away to someplace foreign like Argentina or Portugal or Alaska. Anywhere but right here, right now. I want to get away from the kids at school who look at me like I'm a stranger, even though I've known them since we were all in diapers. And a doctor who thinks, I don't even know what he thinks, but I'm pretty sure it's nothing good. And it makes me so mad because all I've ever tried to be is good. And what does it matter, because here I am feeling like I'm dying anyway. Except that's not possible, is it? I can't go anywhere because I'm 17 and we can't afford it, and besides, the world doesn't allow for it anyway. It doesn't care that you feel like you're drowning when all you want is to be a part of something again, to have your very existence mean something more than it does in this moment. It doesn't care that you're a good kid, that you've always been a good kid, any more than it cares where you come from or what you've done, as long as you can prove who you are right now. The world doesn't care because it's not fair, and I get that. But you know what it should be? Life should be fair. Because the world is better than this, isn't it? Maybe that's why I started writing these letters in the first place. Maybe that's why I'm still here 3 years later, whispering to you when the rest of the world is shouting. Because these aren't just letters, they're my wishes. I wish that when you open my time capsule 100 years from now, the world is kinder. I wish that it gives you a chance to explore and figure it all out for yourself, because I'm starting to think we're all caught in the in-between of who we want to be and who everyone else wants us to be. And there's not enough time to discover who we actually are. I wish by the time you read this, everything is better. And I hope I played some part in that. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make a difference because I'm just one person. I can't change anything on my own. Hell, I can't even get Dr. Denlinger to listen to me, never mind have a say in anything important. It's not like my voice counts, and even if it did, someone else is always speaking for me. Like these doctors who think they know what's best for me by ignoring me. Maybe that's why I started writing too, because for the first time in my life, no one is speaking or thinking for me. I can finally be heard, even if you're the only one that's listening.